Another major metropolitan area launches another huge lawsuit against Glock in an effort to sue them out of business. Welcome back to the channel, my friends. This is where you get the truth about our rights, the government's latest attacks, and the fight to preserve the Second Amendment. Today's story is one of the most outrageous examples of a city blaming law-abiding gun owners and the gun industry for the failures of their own policies. The city of Seattle has officially filed a lawsuit against Glock, claiming that Glock pistols are a public nuisance because they can supposedly be converted into machine guns using illegal devices called Glock switches. That's right, Seattle is suing Glock for the criminal misuse of their products by gang members, drug dealers, and other criminals who don't follow the law in the first place. Real quick, I want to thank our sponsor for the video, CMMG, for always supporting this channel. If you believe in quality, precision, and protecting your rights, these folks are worth knowing. Whether you're looking for 22s, bigger chamberings, or just accessories done right with attention to detail, CMMG always delivers. Their craftsmanship and respect for the Second Amendment show, and as always, purchasing from reliable manufacturers helps us ensure safety, accountability, and quality. G&G 10 will make you smile over there too. Thanks for always supporting this kind of important conversation, CMMG. It's much appreciated. According to the complaint filed in King County Superior Court, Seattle alleges that Glock has been flooding the market with pistols that are too easy to modify into machine guns. The city claims that Glock pistols are uniquely susceptible to illegal conversion devices. Well, if you have taken any armorer's classes or have any knowledge on how these things work, any gun can be converted, but that's illegal, and you're a criminal once you do that, unless you have an SOT. But criminals, including teenagers, are increasingly using these modified firearms in crimes, according to Seattle, and they say Glock supposedly markets its firearms in ways that glorify full auto fire. Haven't seen that yet, but if you know anything about it, submit it to me. Let me see it. And here's the kicker. They're calling it a public nuisance, putting Glock in the same category as polluters or companies dumping toxic waste. It's the same thing that New York did as well. Now, Seattle also drags 3 local gun shops into the lawsuit: Bullseye Indoor Range, Pantel Tactical, and Rainier Arms. You may have heard of Rainier Arms. Now, they're accusing them of contributing to the so-called epidemic. Now, folks, this is lawfare. It's a backdoor attempt to bankrupt companies, gun companies specifically, and dealers by holding them responsible for crimes committed by violent criminals. Let's set the record straight here. A Glock switch or an auto sear is a tiny, illegal device about the size of a dime that can turn a semi-automatic pistol into a fully automatic firearm. Personally, I believe that the Second Amendment is the Second Amendment, and we should all be able to have full auto if we want it, but we're talking about the law and how Seattle's trying to blame Glock. So the device itself is illegal unless you have an SOT and you have registered it and have serialized it under the NFA. Now, these are already heavily restricted under federal law. The ATF classifies them as machine guns, and possession without the right paperwork is a felony. But here's the important part. Glock does not manufacture these devices. Glock does not sell these devices. Criminals are 3D printing them or buying them from shady overseas sellers on websites like Alibaba, Wish, and other black market sources. So why is Seattle going after Glock? Because it's easier than admitting that they've failed to control crime. Instead of focusing on the gangs and drug traffickers who are using these illegal parts, they're blaming the firearm manufacturer whose products are used by police, military, and millions of law-abiding citizens around the world. But here's what's really going on. Anti-gun politicians know they cannot repeal the Second Amendment outright, so they're trying to sue the gun industry out of existence. Seattle's lawsuit mirrors other lawsuits that we've seen around the country, cities and states teaming up with big law firms to try to hold manufacturers accountable for crimes committed by criminals. This directly undermines the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, or PLACA, which Congress passed to prevent exactly this kind of abuse. That law protects gun makers from being sued when their products are lawfully sold and later misused by someone committing a crime. We don't hold Ford responsible for drunk driving. But Seattle is trying to wiggle around that by calling Glock's pistols a public nuisance. That's a legal loophole strategy that's been created by anti-gunners, and it's been attempted before against other manufacturers. The end goal is crystal clear. If they can get one court to buy into this argument, they'll use it to attack the entire gun industry nationwide. Make no mistake, folks, this isn't just about Glock. If Seattle succeeds here, what's to stop other cities from suing Smith & Wesson or Ruger or Sig Sauer or any other gun maker that you can possibly think of? Think about it. By this logic, Ford could be sued every time a drunk driver causes a crash. Knife companies could be sued every time someone gets stabbed. The blame would no longer rest on the criminal, it would rest on the lawful company that made the product lawfully. This is a slippery slope gun grabbers want. Because they know they can't pass gun bans in every single state, they'll just try to bankrupt the companies through endless lawsuits instead. And once the manufacturers are gone, where do you think that leaves you and I? The law-abiding citizens who just want to exercise our constitutional right to keep and bear arms and to be left alone. Well, here's the part the lawsuit conveniently leaves out. Seattle's crime problem is not caused by Glock. It's caused by failed leadership, soft on crime prosecutors, and a revolving door justice system that lets violent offenders right back out on the streets. The Seattle Police Department itself admitted that many of the Glocks they recover with switches are stolen firearms. So instead of going after the criminals stealing the guns, the city is now suing the lawful company that made them. That's not about public safety, that's about politics, period. So here's the bottom line. The lawsuit against Glock is just another attack on the Second Amendment. It's not about saving lives, it's about pushing an agenda, demonizing firearms, and bankrupting one of the most respected names in the firearms industry. We, as gun owners, need to stay alert, stay informed, and push back. Because today it's Glock, tomorrow it could be every gun maker, every dealer, and eventually every one of us who dares to exercise our God-given right to self-defense. If you found this breakdown useful, hit that like button, share the video so more people are aware of this, and subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you as a part of this growing freedom family. And remember, the fight for our rights never stops. Stay safe, stay armed, and stay free, America. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.